guys, today I'm filming my monthly makeup declutter. I actually already filmed this about a week ago because I wasn't quite ready for a different video, but I ended up decluttering a lot more things, so I decided to just refilm it. Even though I really loved my makeup in that video, it's okay. I'm redoing it. This bag is full of stuff that I'm decluttering. Now I do have some things in here that I retested and decided I liked enough to keep, because recently I did do a chopping block recap and refresh where I added in a lot more products. I will have it linked in the cards, and I did go ahead and test some of those. So starting with the things that I tested and I'm going to be keeping, the first is one of the ColourPop Creme Gel Liners from the Hocus Pocus collection. This is this really pretty metallic plum in Trick or Treat, and I've used this a couple times and it looks very pretty. It is not sheer or patchy on the eye. Again, I'm just using this on my lower lash line and my waterline, but I think this looks beautiful, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this. In my refresh, I had added in all of my Merit lip oils except for the Taupe shade, and I just didn't know if I needed all of them, and I have tested these. I think they're different enough to keep, and I really like this formula. So the colors here be Au Naturel and Marrakesh. When you swatch it, Marrakesh is a little brighter, has a little more coral in it, where the Au Naturel really is more of like a muted peachy shade. It's really pretty, so I am going to be keeping the both of those as well. Let me just swatch them for you while we're here. So we've got Au Naturel, which is the more neutral, muted one. Then we have Marrakesh, which I was thinking would be orange, but like I said, there's a little bit more pink in there, so it ends up looking coral, but I feel like you can really tell the difference. And this is such a nice, smooth formula. It is not too thin. It doesn't dry my lips out. It's not sticky. It gives a great amount of color and shine. I will be hanging on to these. Also, my Merit Signature lipstick in the shade Slip. I wore this again recently and really liked this color. This is a thinner lipstick formula. It's a little smoother and creamier, but I actually think that's good because I know like everybody loved the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipstick formula, matte cream sheens, where for me, those are too pigmented and too creamy where they feel heavy on my lips, and these do not because they are thinner. And here's what that color looks like. I feel like in a swatch it just looks like just an odd tan on me, but it definitely pulled of like a warm nude or a warm neutral, I should say, in the makeup look where I wore it recently. So I am going to be keeping this as well, and this is really pretty packaging. I also wore this, and I am going to keep it for now. I'm going to play with it more. This is a little mini Rare Beauty liquid blush in the shade Love, which is a pretty intense color. And this is one of the matte formulas, but you can sheer it out nicely. So definitely out of my comfort zone. I want to keep it and use it a little bit more in the fall. And I have two highlighters that I brought into that refresh, and they're both kind of similar. They're more natural champagnes, especially this one, which is Vesca's Moonlight, and then this one is a little lighter and brighter. This is Persona Laguna, and these are a little bit more natural looking on the cheeks, which I know a lot of people love, but I do like Wabam highlights. But I did think these applied nicely, were very pretty, and will be great kind of day-to-day work highlighters for me, so I will definitely be keeping these for now. And then the last keep is something that there's a little story to it. So this is a MAC Sheer Tone Shimmer Blush in Peach Twist, which is a shade that you can see does have some nice depth to it. This is something that would be great for people that have a medium tan complexion, but I'm very fair and like it as well for that sunburnt look. I got this from Ulta 21 Days of Beauty last year maybe. I did not need it, and I'm kind of mad at myself because where most other products I use them way more in a compact than I do in the pan, it is not that way for MAC blushes unless they're limited edition. I don't know why, but it's always been like that for me. And I have a MAC blush palette that has an empty space here. I should have just waited and bought this in a pan form from MAC around Black Friday time when they do like 40% off. MAC website almost always has free shipping, so that would have been cheaper than I got it in this compact. So I think I'm going to end up selling this, buying it in the pan to put in the palette. I might not make all my money back, but that's okay. I also really just like this palette. I think the colors in here are really pretty. So we have Melba, Cantaloupe, Gingerly, Fleur Power, and Breath of Plum. So Peach Twist would just be perfect right there. And then I'm getting rid of a couple liquid liners and a bunch of mascaras. And I did just do the video on if I had to cut my collection in half. I will link that playlist for you guys. And I also went through my backup drawer, which I tend to do every couple months. And we're gonna be having a going away party for 2 of my coworkers in a few days. And one of our old coworkers is coming as well. And last time we all got together, I gave her a whole bunch of stuff, which was awesome. I wanna do that again. But I figure all the girls would use mascara and liner. So it was really hard for me, but I have way too many backups of the KVD Tattoo Liner for someone that has barely done liquid liner this year. So I still have a few minis and a full size. So I am going to pass on 2 minis. It's so good, but I don't want it to dry out sitting in the drawer. So my favorite liquid liner, but that is going to be passed on, 2 of them, like I said. Then I've got all these mascaras. These are 2 from the backup drawer that are some of my favorites. Benefit, Bad Gal Bang. I already have 2 other minis, so that's enough. These come in free gifts all the time, so I know I'm going to get more. This is a really nice wet formula. It does have a plastic wand, which gives really nice length, but because the mascara is so wet, I do think it can help give some volume to your lashes, but I usually like to pair this with more of a volumizing mascara. So I'm gonna be passing both of those on as well. And then I had all these other mascaras that I did initially want to try, but I just feel like I've been going through my mascaras so slowly, and I've gotten some other ones that I would rather use. So these are the mascaras I'm gonna be getting rid of. Let me know what your thoughts are if you've tried these, because maybe if I get them again, I'll keep them, but please let me know your opinion. So the KVD Go Big or Go Home, CoverGirl Exhibitionist, NARS Climax Extreme, the Buxom Extrovert, and Ciate Wonder Wand mascaras. So like I said, I know that basically all my coworkers would use a mascara. You may be surprised by this one, but I am going to be passing on this little mini Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Rose Gold. You guys know that I love my Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks so much. I've used up a few of these in the past, but it is probably like my least favorite of the ones I have color-wise. It's not quite Wabam, and my sister actually uses this as her eye base. She barely wears eyeshadow, but when she does, she always uses this, and she has the tiniest little nub left, and I know it's broken from the base. It's gonna fall out, so I am going to give this to her because I have plenty of other shadow sticks to use. Then some more products I added into the refresh. This is brand new. I am really disappointed in myself that I even bought this. It was very affordable, but still, this is one of the Sephora collection eyeshadows in the shade Meteor, and I remember seeing Nicole P. I don't think I could pronounce her last name on Instagram, who I'd love, use this, and I was like, that is so pretty, but in person it's literally just a regular copper. This formula is an interesting creamy texture that I had a really hard time picking up on a brush. It applies nicely with the finger, but you guys know me, I like to apply a layer with my brush and then a layer with my finger to intensify it, and I kind of had to dig in there with my brush, and that's annoying. I definitely have a bunch of coppers because those are my favorite types of colors to use on the eye. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pass it on. Next, I was kind of disappointed by this. I've been wearing a lot of powder foundation recently, and this one is just not as good as the drugstore ones I've used. The Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation in 105. My friend Jean sent this to me, and the color is a little light for me, especially using this as a powder foundation. And I feel like it is more dry than my Maybelline Better Skin, which I know is discontinued, or even especially, oh yeah, pretty light. But it's definitely a lot thinner than the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Air Powder Foundation. And I feel like I had a hard time building this up to give me a decent amount of coverage. It didn't wear the best. This is just and I don't feel like hanging on to it to use as a setting powder. I would rather use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder if I'm wanting a pressed colored face powder option. So just way better drugstore powder foundation. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Then some other things that's really sad, I'm finally letting go of these. I told you guys that for the most part, I can't make Juvia's Place work for me, and that makes me so sad, but it's an amazing brand that works for so many other people. It is an affordable brand. You can get it in store at Ulta. They have almost the whole line there. Definitely a full face of makeup. You can use the drugstore coupons on these. They're on sale on their own website and on Ulta's website all the time. It's such an amazing, very inclusive brand, but especially for people of color. So it doesn't work for me, works for a million other people, which is amazing. So we have the bronzer duo in the light shade. And even though I'm very fair, I feel like with some bronzers, I like to go with the second shade in the range. And maybe I would have liked this better if I went with one shade darker. I just feel like this is not a powdery formula, which is okay, but I really kind of have to go in there and build to get it to show up, because you guys may know I use a stippling brush with my bronzer, and I feel like it just doesn't work. I don't know. I just did not love this on the skin. I was using this as the bronzer and this is the contour shade, but I actually would have liked it to be a little bit more powdery, which I don't often say. Then I have the blush duo in volume 2. They did just recently come up with 4 more duos, which is fantastic. So in here you have a slightly burnt orange and then a really pretty peachy pink, both matte blushes. I like this color. I have a million of these. This one, I don't love it as much. I would rather wear Becca Songbird, which is not quite as orange as this. It's like more of like a very muted tan with orange in it. It's just a little bit more wearable for me, so I'm gonna pass that on. This was really hard for me as well. I'm getting rid of the Tarte Adeline Marin palette, and basically these colors here are just like Natasha Denona Sunset, which I already have. These face products are really nice, but I definitely have these colors, and I'm not reaching for this palette to use the cheek shades. I think this is a great formula. I haven't tried that many palettes from Tarte, but this one is really good. I just have all these shades and never reach for it. And then 2 other products I added into that refresh would be my Toast of Colors gel liners. I've had these for a little while and they're still very creamy, but I literally never use them. So I want to give them to a friend that would use them more. This is the Terracotta When in Rome. And this really pretty burgundy color, Hit the Road. And the last product I'm going to be passing on is Insane. This is the Derma E Ultra Hydrating Lip Plumping Treatment. And if you have any sensitivity towards your lips, if you do not like the tingle of a Buxom gloss and you put this on, you're going to need to go to the ER because it is going to like burn your face off. I do not mind a lip plumper. Now, I have not used like the Too Faced ones, but even the Buxom Plump Shot, that gives you a good little burn at the beginning. I really like that one. That's like my favorite lip plumper, Grande Cosmetics. You can feel the plumping on that, but it's not too much. This was insane. And I put on too much and I rubbed my lips too much and I got too much. Wow, I've said that. Too much. Around my lips, on the skin, on my mouth, around my lips, and it freaking burned. It was so hot, it hurt. My mouth hurt. I don't think you're supposed to be irritating your lips that much because it's not going to be a long-lasting effect. Like, the pain is not worth the beauty in this instance. The formula itself like felt very nice, but do not apply too much. I honestly do not recommend this unless you like a really intense lip plumper. If you think the Too Faced ones, you don't feel nothing, then maybe you'll like this, but otherwise I just think it's too intense. And I only used it I think twice, but part of me is like, oh Heather, just try again. No, I'm too scared. So I am keeping 8 products and passing on 18, which I feel really good about. And who knows, as always, some of the keeps could change later on in the year, but I'm really happy with the decisions that I've made. It feels good to be letting some more things go, especially to give it to some lovely coworkers. So I would love to hear your thoughts on these products if you've tried them in the comments down below, and I would love to hear what products you have decluttered recently, or if you have some sort of chopping block, and if there's anything that you thought about getting rid of, you tried, loved, and decided to keep. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.